In a plot twist surprising no one, it turns out that there are a lot of ways converting a school bus into a tiny self-sufficient home on wheels can go sideways if you attempt to do it yourself. I know there are a lot of ways it can go wrong because I've gone wrong most of those ways, and over the years converting school buses for other people since 2014, I've had the opportunity to learn a lot of lessons. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 of the most common or regrettable or easily avoidable mistakes that I see people making as they begin this journey so that hopefully you don't make those mistakes either. My name's Chuck Cassidy. Don't go anywhere. I'm dropping wisdom for free today. You're going to want to pick it up. As I'm heading over to my workbench, I want to take a moment and remind you that Chuck Cassidy is brought to you by the Bus Fair happening June 23rd to 25th in Oak Ridge, Oregon. I'm going to be there. My best friends are going to be there. Come hang out with us, check out some skoolies, and enjoy a good time. Check out thebusfair.com for more information. Woo! All right, well, we got to get started with the elephant in the room, which is really the bus in the shop. And I know I said there would only be 5 things, and there will be, but this one's kind of a multiple, 1A, B, C, etc. The number one mistake that I see people making is they buy the wrong bus. And let me tell you, all the ways you can make a school bus and get it ordered from the factory are all the ways you can buy the wrong one for your needs. Maybe you buy a bus that's too big. That is super common. In fact, I see most people regretting having a bus that is so big, and if they could do it over, they would get a smaller one. Maybe you buy a bus that's too new and it's got tons of complicated emission systems, and I'm all for clean air, but those emission systems are expensive to maintain, and when they break, they could leave you dead in the water. It's more than just clean air. It might actually stop you in your tracks. Another common problem is buying a bus that's rusty, and there is no such thing as a good deal on a rusty bus. Let me just put that out there. No matter what the price is, don't buy a rusty bus. Do yourself a favor, spare yourself the heartache. A rusty bus will only continue to rust. Despite your best efforts, it never sleeps and it only will get worse. You can slow it down, but you can never stop it. And the price to repair rust will far exceed your wildest dreams. And let's be honest, is that really where you want to spend your money? If it costs you an extra $2 or $3 grand to get a bus that's not rusty, do it. Do it, my friend. Otherwise, it will be the rust that ultimately claims your bus conversion's life. I know, it's sad. Another big mistake I see people making when they buy a bus is they'll pick up a bus that doesn't have under bay storage. If you're planning on adding those boxes and you buy the prefab ones, or if you make them yourself, you'll learn that it's either a lot of time, a lot of money, or a lot of both to turn that storage into reality. If you think you're saving money buying a bus that's a little cheaper but doesn't have those bays, you might want to think again. Those pass-through storage bays create an invaluable amount of storage space, and if you can buy a bus that already has it, you might find yourself saving several thousands of dollars installing it yourself, or worse, hiring someone like me to install it for you. Long story short, buying a bus is the one choice you don't get to make again on this whole project. So you want to get it right, and every little bit that you spend up front to get the bus of your dreams, you won't regret. In all my years doing this, I've never heard anyone regretting spending more money, assuming they got a good deal, to get the bus of their dreams. That's my number one tip. Be patient, hold out, wait for the bus of your dreams, or it will become the bus of your nightmare. The second most common mistake that I see people making is not demoing their bus completely. They'll start their build out on top of the old subfloor. They'll start their build out over the old sidewalls. They might even just leave the existing ceiling. And I get it, if you're turning this into a weekend warrior, that's probably unnecessary to do the full demo. But if this is something that you want to call your full-time residence and spend your days traveling this vast continent in all climates, all times of the year, do yourself a favor and demo that bus. The only way to know what's going on behind those walls or what the condition of your metal floor pan is to demo what is in there. The nice thing about doing the demo is it gives you a chance to check for leaks. And it gives you the opportunity to replace that insulation, which between you and me isn't doing much of anything, with something that will perform a lot better for your needs. I'm a big fan of closed cell spray foam. Up to you what you want to choose, and I've got videos on that subject that you can check out. Maybe I'll post it. But make sure and do yourself a favor, if this is a project that you really want to do right and you want to see through, demo that whole bus. Take out the ceiling, take out the walls, take up the subfloor, inspect it for leaks, patch and repair any rust, give it a good power washing and cleaning, and then you have a beautiful clean slate. From there, you can start your build, and that's something that you won't regret doing. While we're on the subject of demo, this is one that's maybe controversial, but to me is non-negotiable, and that is you got to get rid of those stock school bus windows. I don't care what you do, there are no guarantees that you will have a solution that keeps them from leaking. The design is flawed. They were designed to be easily changeable by just a mechanic in the shop without specialty tools, and for that, they're amazing. But for keeping the water and the wind out of your schoolie, you're just gonna wanna find something better. We've had people remove and reseal their windows using the most modern, expensive sealants, still get leaks in their bus. And what do you do when that happens? You're at a loss. You've done everything. What do you do? The answer is you get rid of the windows. Now, don't get me wrong. From an aesthetic standpoint, the stock school bus windows are hard to beat. They're cool. Who doesn't love that big greenhouse effect? I know I love it. But if you need walls that aren't gonna leak and grow mold, and will provide you with a nice air-sealed enclosure so you don't have drafts in the wintertime, you really should consider getting rid of those stock school bus windows now before they make your life miserable. I could go on and on about stories of times we've had stock school bus windows leak. If you do choose that option, just be aware you probably won't find out that they're leaking until it's too late and you have mold in your walls. In fact, we even had a client once call us after insisting that we leave the stock school bus windows in his conversion to let us know that he had mushrooms growing out of his walls. That's a story I've told on here before, but it's a good and poignant reminder that sometimes you don't see the results of those leaks until years later. And mold is a killer. This next one is a big one, literally, and that is a roof raise. Now, if you don't have the budget to do a roof raise, be an extra savvy school bus shopper. That's because there are buses out there that came from the factory with ceiling heights as high as 6'6". And for a lot of people, that leaves room to add the insulation you need, keep the headroom you gotta have, and not have to do a roof raise. A roof raise is a huge undertaking. Make no mistake about it. Even here at the shop, it's still, over 100 hours of manpower to get a school bus roof 16 inches, 20 inches, 12 inches higher than when we found it. And while I think the results are always worth it, some people just don't have the budget for it. Now, if you do have the budget for it, I can't recommend it enough. It opens so many doors, not just for what you do with insulation, but for your floor plan. That extra ceiling height comes in so handy when you are planning out things like your bathroom, because the shower pan typically ends up slightly elevated. It's nice to have room above your head for your shower fixture. Maybe you want to loft your bed. Maybe you want to raise the floor in the whole back of your bus. That's something I'm doing. You can do all of that and really make the space more interesting, open up more storage and layout opportunities, and in my opinion, really improve the livability of your schoolie by doing a roof raise. Even if you're frugal, there's no getting around the costs associated with the schoolie roof raise, and you do the work yourself, you're still looking at a couple thousands of dollars at minimum for the materials. But if you need one, I can't recommend it enough. Now, this last tip, it hits close to home because it's what I've been doing on my channel, if you've been watching, for about the past 6 months, which is going through every mechanical system on my bus and making sure that it is in tip-top running condition. And the reason I do this is because I am terrified of breaking down. Even though I'm very good at it and I'm very good at fixing things, breaking down on a highway is not only dangerous, but it puts you at the mercy of the local shops who may or may not be willing to help you. And if you don't have roadside assistance, unfortunately, you're looking at thousands of dollars for a tow to get somewhere that can help you. Now, there are a lot of ways to approach school bus maintenance, but I really recommend anybody who buys a schoolie learn how to do a DOT pre-trip inspection on their rig. It'll familiarize you with all of the main major mechanical systems on your bus, tell you what to look for, how to inspect it, and know if it's operating properly. And for things like air brakes, it even includes procedures you can follow to make sure that you're testing those before the trip and they are functioning and adjusted properly. It's not just a matter of saving money and inconvenience, it's a matter of safety, because a system failing as you're going down the highway can be dangerous, and being broken down on the side of an interstate can be downright terrifying. I know it's not the most fun thing to spend your money on, but take it from somebody who has spent thousands and thousands of miles driving across this country. Do everything you can to avoid a breakdown. Spend that money here in Safe Harbor, get the repairs done while you can manage it and plan for it, because you're just one neglected fluid away from maybe ruining a $20,000 engine. Before I wrap up the mechanical section, I just have to touch on one really important aspect in there, and that is tires. When you buy your bus, it might have tires that look great. They might have tons of tread. They might not have any visible damage, but there is a hidden danger lurking on those tires, and that is the date that they were manufactured. When you get right down to it, the tires on your bus have an extremely important job, and a tire that's too old but looks fine could blow out going 70 miles an hour down the interstate on your front axle, and it doesn't take much imagination to imagine the damage that that could cause. It might even cost you your life. Tires are extremely expensive. You should plan anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 for a brand new set of wheels all around your bus. But the good news is you're very unlikely to wear them out. They will probably age out, so you can almost guarantee yourself that those tires will be good for the next 7 years. It's where the rubber meets the road, and it really, really is an important maintenance item that I see neglected far too often because tires look fine when in fact they're too old. Now look, I know I just came at you hard and fast with a lot of information there, but it's stuff that I really think could prevent probably half of all of the headaches and turmoil I see schoolie folk encounter as they take this journey. I know it's not the most fun thing in the world to spend your money on maintenance before you do the build out, or to have to sit and wait and check listing after listing, hoping you find the bus of your dreams. But I think deep down we all know that a little bit of prudence and patience go a long way into turning your dreams into reality, and that is what this is all about, isn't it? Well, thanks for watching. My name's Chuck Cassidy. Stick around. This channel is all about bus conversions and how we can do it better and get free. Thanks for watching.